It's just getting sober is the hardest part.
It's the hardest part, but the most rewarding.
Some people, I've seen people do it, and I don't see how they do it.
All right, guys, welcome back. I'm out here with Buddha. Amazing name. How are you, man?
I'm the only Native American who's true Native and raised by Catholics, and I got a nickname like Buddha. You go figure that one out.
How old are
I
you,
can't.
Buddha?
52.
52. Right on, man. So I spoke with you for a little bit, man. You've been having some trouble in and out of hospitals. Before we get into that, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Northeast Arizona.
North.
Northeast Arizona.
Okay.
I was born in a small town called, they call it Slow Town, but it's called Winslow. That's where I was born. And I graduated from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I did a year at NAU trying to get a CJ's degree, but I had kids already, so they were growing up faster than I could raise them, so I had to quit. And I did a lot of tours with my grandfather because my grandfather was a Navajo code talker in 41 to 46. The reason why they kept him an extra year is because they forgot to discharge him. But I took him to all his meetings, campaigns, and book signings, and been all over the United States, man. In and out of
Yeah.
motels, sleeping in the cars, and alcoholism was just part of my family, though. It was just part of it. I mean, I was raised into it, basically. It's like you wake up in the morning, your water didn't work, so you go around, you start shaking bottles and everything like that, pour them into a glass, like you know how to pour a glass of beer.
How old were you when you had your first drink?
Like I said, I was young. I was very young. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But that's how it started, man. Trying to get something to drink because we didn't have running water at the time.
Oh,
Because we had enough money to pay rent, but we didn't have money for electricity or water or stuff like that, man. It's like when we had to get water, we had to go down. We used to live in Louisiana. I remember we used to have to go down to the river and get buckets so we could fill the toilet up just to flush it. I remember that. Had a little wagon, and we took that, got water, buckets at a time, and set them up outside. And when somebody had to go to the bathroom real bad, we just poured in there and flushed the toilet, and keep the smell out of there. And, when it rained, we used to put buckets outside underneath the drain. Then we used to pick crawdads out of the ground because they used to come out of the ground after it rained and grab them, boil them, eat them. It was survival. Then I grew up on a reservation myself, and that was a hard part too, because I was the only child in my family, and I was the only child on the reservation, basically with my grandparents, because my mom and my dad had got shot in Phoenix. Uh, Supposedly he got shot. Then they said he dehydrated, so I don't really know. And my mom, she died of alcoholism and pills, and the rest of the family has like heart problems, and I got a murmur in my heart, but I figure we're all born to die one day. Might as well have fun while we're doing it. But right now, I'm not really having fun. I wish I had a home right now and being there and watching TV, watching a game or something. But right now, it's not possible. But coming this month, it's going to be possible because I know I get paid this month. I get a disability check now, so A friend of mine trying to help me find an apartment, and we'll know by Friday. So,
It's good, man.
and I've had my own apartments before, and it kept me off the booze. I mean, it gave me something to do. Wake up in the morning, take a shower, cook my own breakfast. And depending on food stamps then too. But yeah, cook my own breakfast, cook my own. Got a crock pot, made dinner, took off. I make stuff out of palm leaves, and I go out and sell those on the side. This is before I started getting my disability. So I had no money at all at the time, but that's the only money I had coming to me. So I miss doing that.
Yeah.
People ask me too, it's like, when are you gonna start doing those again? I was like, I don't know, man. I said, I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah. So Friday, yeah, hopefully it's gonna come quick. So hopefully
It's like
some
5 more
positivity.
days or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully some positivity will come, and
Well, I got
you
a
have a safe
friend.
place to
Like I
stay.
said, I've known this girl. She was an addict, and she was an alcoholic too. But she she went to prison, and she came out, and she's on a straight and narrow. But I mean, she still helps her friends out. Like, if we need to go have her go get us a beer or something, then she'll go over there and get us a beer. I mean, we give her the money, yeah, but we don't go out there begging for money. I mean, sometimes it's just like today, man. It's like I just got out of the hospital. I had no money at all.
So what's been going on with the hospital thing? You said that you were in and out,
Oh, I've
and you don't want to
been.
go to the VA. What's going on with all that?
Oh man, it's just I don't trust the government really, and that's something I don't understand. I mean, that's between me and them.
Sure.
And the hospital wise is just my body's like I don't got no kidney problems. I ain't got nothing like that. I just had a lot of surgeries. My cousin got me in a car wreck because he was drunk, and I spent 7 months in a coma, 7 months in a halo, and ever since then, it's just been hospitalized, hospitalized, hospitalized. And right now, I'm going through a low white count and a high and a low red and white count in my blood
Blood
cells.
cells.
One goes high, one goes low, or one goes higher than the other, and get dizzy and fall out. And don't even got to be drinking though, it just happens. And then somebody gets an urge and calls, an ambulance on me because I'm pretty well known here in South Tucson, or all over Tucson really, as the flower guy they call me, and they're concerned about me, and I try to help out the best I can. With, I mean, if I got it, you got it. If I don't, I don't got it. But in return, I don't get the same what I give in to get what I give out. But that don't concern me. It's like, well, I can't take it with me when I die anyway, so why worry about it? You
What are
know?
some challenges you face out here on the streets?
Challenges? The worst challenges I ever had, man, was being caught up in a fight that wasn't my business, but I was part of the group that was walking down the street and the fight started. And I had no, I mean, I had to prove to them I had heart, so I fought back with them. But I never went out and started fights. But I mean, I could defend myself pretty good. As a young kid, that's what you got to learn. Just learn how to fight. Being by yourself, no brothers, no sisters, no cousins. Growing up in Louisiana, you know, it's like my whole life I've been surrounded. I don't mean to say it like this. I'm not prejudiced, but I've been surrounded by blacks and whites my whole life. So I came back to Arizona, then I started meeting natives and Mexicans. And I figured out there's another race besides white and black. But most of my fights been with the whites and the blacks. And a lot of trouble with the police department. I never stole nothing. I never resorted that far, you know. Never robbed nobody. Yeah, I sold drugs here and there when I could, just to make money. But when my kids started growing up, I quit all that, and it's not a life that I miss. It's just something I had to do, and
Do
now my
you
kids are both all grown, and
are you in contact?
I got no one else to take care of. No, we don't. We're not on
No
talking
contact.
terms no more. Yeah.
Any other family? Anything like that?
My cousin called me about 6, 7 months ago. They were concerned about me. They put missing person things out all over Tucson,
Oh wow.
and some homeless people told me, it's like, yeah, we seen your name on the poster, man. And they brought me a poster. So I called it, and she wouldn't stop crying. She's like, I'll be there to come get you tomorrow. I'm gonna get you a room right now on my credit card. She did give me a room, and next morning she did come and get me. Took me down to Phoenix. I don't know nothing about Phoenix. I'm from Arizona, but I don't know nothing about Phoenix.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger out there. So as far as drinking right now, do you drink on a daily basis?
Well, it's kind of hard not to because, like, I mean, you can wake up in the morning and someone has a beer, and they be like, "Here, man, here you go." And you start drinking with them, and it's like, "Well, I got a little bit of change in my pocket still, man." And, starts from there. You go around the corner, run into somebody else who's got a beer. It just keeps going and going and going and going. It's not actually something that it's not something that I actually choose. It's just right there
Yeah.
all the time. And the next morning when you wake up, there's nobody around but yourself, and you're just like waking up with I guess they call it DTs, withdrawals.
Delirium tremens.
Yeah, and start getting tremors and getting paranoid and shaky, and you gotta have that drink, man. It's something to calm you down at least. But my main concern usually is water and food. As long as I got something in my belly, as long as I got water in me, and I can set beer aside for about a whole day. That's about it. But coming into the night, man, whatever I can make on the side, like I said, build my little palms or whatever, I'll spend whatever I got to make sure I don't wake up with the withdrawals. And to me, that's a lot. I mean, I've woke up in hospital before, and they always give you like Ativan or something like that, or something to calm your nerves down or calm you down. I mean, I don't get violent or anything like that. Just go through tremors and start shaking, dry heaving, and it's kind of a mess, man. Really, it's not a life I wish on anybody, man. But I can't blame nobody but myself. I don't ask the Lord for help because He's not the one who did it. I did it on my own.
Yeah,
I can stand up for my own responsibilities.
that's a pretty dangerous detox right there. Alcohol. Have you been
Well,
to rehab?
yeah, I went voluntarily. I wasn't petitioned or court ordered.
Okay.
I did a year and a half of rehab, and the first month I did rehab, I was walking into traffic, not knowing what I was doing because I mean, so used to drinking, looking both ways before I walk across the street. But when you're sober, and you're coming down, it's like you really don't care. It's like you just walk right in the middle of the street. Don't care if traffic was coming. Have friends pull me back. It's like, hey man, you almost got hit. I was like, what's it gonna matter? Nobody's gonna care. Once I'm gone, I'm gone. I was like, yeah, they'll probably cry for the first 2 days, but after that, part of history. That's all I can say. And but I got friends who died from alcoholism. And I pray for them at night before I sleep. I was like, I'm gonna take this last drink right here. I'm gonna take it for all of us, man. But I'll save one for the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I was like, good morning, guys. The ones that passed away. So guess what's for breakfast? A beer.
I hear you, man.
And
Since you've been out here on the streets, what's been the scariest or craziest thing you've seen?
being harassed by the police department and the fire department, they respect me because they know what withdrawals is, and I've done a lot for all of them, man. I've helped them with shit, and I've stopped traffic and shit like that for them, and I mean the fire department engine 10 is like the only people that show me respect more than anything. They know me by my first name and my last name. And when I gotta go to the hospital, they're the first ones on the call. Make sure I gotta go where I gotta go. That's why I ended up on this side of town. And since today's Sunday, the buses run every hour, so I'm kind of like I'll probably be stuck here all day today. I mean, I don't mind being stuck here. It's really not in my environment. I don't really know half these people around here no more. Before I knew everybody. Now it's like a new crowd came in, and so drinking does have a lot to do with stuff, and a lot of people are smoking those blue pills, and crack's coming back. I know that, and methamphetamine is slowly coming back too. And there's a lot of things I can say about drugs and alcohol, but I mean it's hard to explain. I was a bartender for 12 years and never drank.
Wow, that's rare. That is rare.
I used to work at a bar in Holbrook, Arizona called the Arizona Tavern.
Hmm.
It was native owned and operated.
Wow.
I mean, I was like a bouncer, a bartender, a counselor, and kept people's marriages together, all kind of stuff like that. But
Yeah,
now,
talking to a bunch of people and hearing their story.
yeah, and I grew up the native way, so I mean, I know my history, and I know about the church. Like I said, I was raised Catholic, so I go to church once a month at least. I try. If not, I'll sit outside because I'm usually kind of drunk. I don't want to disrespect the church by walking in there being drunk,
Yeah.
but I'll sit outside the church and listen to what's going on inside. But other than that, I'm okay with everything else. And just like native ceremonies, same thing. I don't really don't go to them because there's some ceremonies that you're not supposed to go to, and there's some ceremonies that they want you to go to, but the ones that they don't want you to go to is the ones that actually don't make sense. The ones that 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 you not. I mean, it's just vice versa at times, man. I mean, I don't know how they figured that. And my grandfather told me, man. My grandfather, he was in the Marine Corps from 41 to 46. They forgot to discharge him. But he was a Navajo code talker. He's one of the first 40 members, Samuel Sosi. And he was a mental health technician. He helped people with behavioral health and all that. So he
Wow.
kind of taught me how to fight. He kind of taught me how to at least survive. And he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna do drugs, you're gonna drink or whatever." He was like, "Just handle it. Just don't let it handle you. Handle it." He goes, "You don't understand what I mean." And some mornings I wake up like that, and I feel like, man, I start waking up, and I was like, "I hear you, man. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I can hear it right now, man. I can hear you telling me again, right over and over and over again." But
So two more questions.
yes,
What
sir.
is what is your biggest fear in life?
My biggest fear would be myself, cause I mean, there's a lot of things I'm capable of, but suicide ain't one. Defending myself is another thing. I mean, if I gotta defend myself to the end, then I'll do it to the end. But then I feel bad for the other person, but I won't feel that bad after a while. If I get away with it, I just go get drunk, and hey, it happened.
Mhm.
I didn't get caught. And my second fear would probably be jumping out of an airplane, not have my parachute open,
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you, man.
and going to detox and not having the proper care, and going into a seizure, and flipping out. I've seen people die like that, man, and they wouldn't give them nothing to help them. I've seen it happen in county jail plenty of times, man. And people will tell them, "I'm going through a seizure. I'm ready to go through a seizure." They sit there, they start flopping on the floor. Next thing you know, they stop moving. I've seen people go through alcohol withdrawals and drug withdrawals and hung themselves, man. Actually took their own bedding, stripped it down, made it into a rope, and just jumped off the top tier and hung themselves. But you don't hear that on the news. But you hear about everything in 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 other countries about people dying, people getting killed, and hungry people. And there's hungry people here in America that need help. But yet we'll send every other food to them, but they won't feed us. They'd rather throw us in jail and don't give us no help. But yet they'll go fight wars for them, but they won't fight for us.
And if any family or friends see this interview, do you have a message for them?
Well, if they do see it, they know what I'm talking about, because I mean, all this comes from my heart and my soul and my mind and whatever I lost behind. My mother, my father disobeyed a lot of orders, but I always tell myself I'm still alive. I don't know how long, but I'm still here. And they all know that. And that's what they're scared of, because I mean, I'm capable of anything. Anybody's capable of anything. It's just capability comes to a certain extent, though. It's just getting sober is the hardest part.
It's the hardest part, but the most rewarding?
Some people, I've seen people do it, and I don't see how to do it, cause I mean it haunts me. I mean, I've reached. I mean, when I was sober for a year and a half, I used to reach by my bedside like that, and I was looking for a beer, knowing I was sober. You know, or I'd be hungry in the middle of the night. It's like, but you can't go nowhere in the middle of the night when you're in detox and you're hungry, and they're not gonna feed you until the next day. And you're sitting there and you pretend like you're eating. I mean, that's the scariest shit right there.
I agree. All right, Buddha. Do you want to say anything as we close out your video? Anything to the people? Any message?
Well, I would like to say if my family sees this, they know what I'm talking about. And my friends who see this, they know what I'm talking about. It's like we talk about this all the time. And sometimes we make jokes about it. We're just like, what's the most intelligent person in this world? They say humans. I was like, bullshit, man. I was like, who's the first one in outer space? Everybody says Neil Armstrong and all that. I was like, no, it was a goddamn chimpanzee. You can imagine what that motherfucker look like, took him from the jungle and sent him out into space. Can you imagine him trying to push buttons coming back to Earth? All he can speak is sign language.
Yeah, yeah,
Think how scared he was.
yeah, yeah.
That's what
Hammering
detox
on the
is about
window.
to me.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, Buddha. Well, thank you so much for your story, man. It's very nice to meet you.
I hear you, man. Anytime you need me, man, I'm around.
Appreciate you, bro.
I'd rather be sober and talk about stuff like this.
I understand.
Maybe I can help somebody.
I understand. You're helping me right now. So I really appreciate you, bro. All right, thank you.